What's up, everybody? It's your boy Czar, all rights reserved. Today, let's talk about it. Now, this one's a little different. It seems that Tekashi and Tr3yway checked in with the game in Wack100. Now, it is what it is. You're checking in with the game. You went back to LA. I guess it was about showing up, but it's like you got to check in with someone. Why? I thought you weren't going to check in. Now you're choosing who you want to check in with. I'm confused. I thought you were going to be the Don of all. I thought you were going to not check in. I thought you were going to be the one doing your thing and answer to no one. But now you're picking and choosing who to check in with. And today, because you're doing this, I got to give you this. You got to understand. Now what you're doing is picking and choosing sides. Okay, and it may sound simple, but in this scenario, it's nothing simple. So I understood you checked in with Gilly, but you also understand there's AR-Ab, another major figure in Philly you didn't check in with. Now you check in with the game to dodge checking in with everybody else you had beef with. Now, that could create tension between the game and the other people who you didn't check in with, but at the same time, we never know how you guys are going to roll. We don't know how you're going to move. So it's all depending on how you guys connect. And in this, it was by phone. It seemed like it wasn't face-to-face. When you connect with people and you're going to do that, you want it to be face-to-face so that you know for certain, for a fact, if it does go down, that they really got you. Because if they don't really got you, that's not going to be something you want to be part of. Being that we already saw these guys were willing to travel across states just to come check in on you in your state. And this hasn't been solved yet. This hasn't been, let's say, dealt with in a sense. But now, it's like you're picking and choosing who you're going to be allies with. If thinking as these allies who came and visited you in New York, we know, I'll be mad at the game. How are you letting him check in with you when you know I have business with this guy? So you know I traveled across the country to go try and just find this guy face to face. Not even to check in. He just wanted to find him and get his hands on him. But now he's cool because he checked in with someone else. That's not what you want. And in the game scenario, it is what it is. If he feels that their presence is strong enough, and if YG and them is cool with that, okay, but that's not the norm. These guys were looking for him. Not only that, you guys are playing for the same team. So he got his pass elsewhere. Another strategic move by Tekashi. See, a lot of people are making comments about how he's moving and how they're moving, but he's making very strategic decisions. So at the same time, I thought, Tekashi, you were going to roll alone, but in the same token, it was a smart decision. Now for the game in Wack100 co-signing him, y'all got to kind of answer to YG. These guys were looking for him. I mean, they traveled across the country looking for him. But he's good because he said something to y'all. That's counterproductive to a team effort, right? I'm just saying, I don't really see how that made sense. I don't see YG taking that laying down. I don't think he's going to like that. I don't see him saying, oh, yeah, he was good because he hit you up. He's going to be like, yo, you know, I was trying to see what was up with folk, but you did that to me. So I don't know what's actually going to happen. I don't know what it's going to turn into. But what I do see is Tekashi makes another strategic move. He's making allies in places where, you know, he may be banned, but at the same token, these are people of influence. The people of influence is who helps you to further yourself. It helps you to morally develop yourself, to confidently progress you as a person. That's what a lot of people time missing. That's what a lot of social parameters are missing in this day and age. See, that's the thing. A lot of people carry themselves one way, but then in the same token, you become another. You know what I mean? It's one of them things where even if you have outside influences, you got to remember who's really of influence and who really matters at the end of the day. Life can go many different ways very fast, and growing up in certain environments, you see that earlier than others. But at the same time, some others don't truly understand how sideways things can go in life because they've never been through it. And that's why the people who went through it have to learn to teach to others with patience. And that's why a parent comes into play. But if the parent isn't teaching the child that, they never learn that. And that's when the child becomes a replica of the very evil the parent never wanted to see. And that's why it's very important to not let habits and things and pains that you may go through translate to your children. And that's the key to breaking the cycle. And the thing is, being an African American man, I know the pain of that more than anything. And that, how does that fit into this? In this way. The reason I'm saying all of that is because, as we know, Tekashi is not an African American man. His CEO is. Why is that important? Because the one who's really gangster is his CEO. Okay, he's the one that's about it for real. Okay, and this guy's moving around helping him to translate his life. We see how this culture and things affects other places. So with that mentality that they have, went to another gang area and another gang area in Texas, and the gangs got rowdy. Now, why is it when black men link up to try and make money in the industry, does drama have to ensue? And I don't mean simple drama. I mean gang wars. What's that about? I mean, have you ever heard of Justin Bieber and his crew getting together, traveling to somewhere, and being told you got to check in or something? What about Post Malone? Does Post Malone have to check in anywhere? Who does he check in with? Oh my goodness. What about what's his name? G Smooth, G Dep, G Mac, whatever the dude's name is. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Where does he have to check in at? And no, not G Dep. G Dep don't gotta check in nowhere. But his name's something G Mac. Down south, that dude everybody be listening to. I don't really do that. Do they gotta check in? Does Russ have to check in? What is this check-in thing? Why is it necessary that we even have to start this? Oh, he had to check in. Oh, he had to check in. For what? For what? What are we starting this for? This is that dumb stuff that we do as a culture that makes no sense. Oh, he got to check in. Oh, he went down the street down there. He got to check in with me. Like, why? Oh, so you could pocket watch. That's sucker shit. I'm sorry. I can't side with it. Shout to the hater, shout to star. I don't side with that. The pocket watching thing, the check-in thing, I don't respect that. You're grown men for the most part. Tekashi is a growing young man. He's not probably grown as his CEO, but you guys are grown. Stop. You don't have to check in nowhere. You're a grown. Why? As a grown man, if I take a flight and I pay for my flight, oh, am I checking in? Are you going to reimburse me if I check in? Is that what I'm checking in for? You got to check for me. I wouldn't check in unless you got to check for me. If I'm checking in, you got to check for me. That's what that means. Because why is someone else dabbling in your money? Got to know what you're doing, know your moves. It just doesn't make sense. That's one of the things you don't want. Matter of fact, if you're traveling somewhere like that and you got beef with guys doing, I just don't get it. It makes no sense to me. Maybe it's just a certain tight-knit circle doing this, but I've never heard of it. Try and tell Jadakiss to check in somewhere. Try and tell Styles P to check. That ain't happening. And if you did that, your own city will probably hurt you for doing some stuff like that. It just doesn't make sense. You're telling certain people to check in. Why? What are they checking for? What are we checking for? You got to check for me. You must have a check for Tekashi. It looks like Tekashi's winning right now. His strategies, his moves, I don't know. Y'all tell me different. I know a lot of people didn't like that video he came out with. It was weird. I agree. But he is winning right now in the game. Even if he is checking in, look at who he's checking in with, and look at who his enemies are. I would say Tekashi's making very solid moves, and I want to see what he's about to do next. All rights reserved.